Hey, so what do Jews think about non-Jews? Do they believe that non-Jews need to be killed? Do the Jews entertain genocidal hatred in their hearts? Obviously not, but there are a lot of people who claim that they do, and I can guarantee you this. Those who claim that Jews do have such hatred are they themselves dyed-in-the-wool anti-Semites. Let's take a look into the pages of history. Many centuries ago, there was something called the blood libel. The blood libel was Christians accusing Jews of kidnapping and murdering a Christian child to use their blood in preparing the matzot, the unleavened bread that Jews would eat at their Passover Seder celebrations. Needless to say, this was, as its name implies, a libel. It was a complete slander, it was completely false. But it was used to justify pogroms, attacks on the Jewish community, murders of Jews. What was the psychology here? Well, when a person has a lot of hatred in their heart, it's not nice, it's not easy for them to admit that I am a hater, I am a racist, I have genocidal intentions towards the people because of who they are, who they worship, or what they look like. That doesn't go over very well, even towards ourselves. So we seek a justification. And the anti-Semites would seek a justification in facts. But, well, if there aren't facts to support it, so then make some up. Call in the conspiracy theory cavalry if you need to, and they will tell you and prove to you that it was indeed Israelis and the Mossad that perpetrated the attacks on September 11th that killed my second cousin. Obviously, that is not true, but that is the way the psychology is. We will grasp any fact to justify something that we feel emotionally deeply, and if it is hatred, so then the blood libel all of a sudden makes sense. But let's understand the true Jewish approach to non-Jews by understanding why the blood libel's false. First of all, if we're talking about a Jew who is careful about their religion and wants to eat the unleavened bread at the Passover Seder properly, then it's safe to assume they also keep the Ten Commandments, one of which is, thou shalt not murder. Jews are forbidden to commit murder against Jews or non-Jews. Period. An end of discussion. Jews are not only forbidden to commit murder, they're forbidden to steal from, they're forbidden to cheat, they're forbidden to harm, Jew or non-Jew. And this is guided by a number of Jewish principles. One of them is the idea of darkei shalom, the ways of peace, which is intrinsically connected to tikkun olam, fixing the world, which is also connected to kiddush Hashem, sanctifying God's name. God is a God of kindness, and therefore the Jews have to bring kindness wherever they go. And indeed, whenever there has been a natural disaster, it is the Israelis who are among the first to send humanitarian aid, field hospitals, doctors, and any other assistance that they can. So the concept of a Jew killing a non-Jewish child, for heaven's sake, to use their blood in the matzah is ridiculous on that level alone. And when there were Christian children found killed in advance of a blood libel, it was discovered that it was actually a Christian who shed that blood in order to slander the Jews. The other aspect of the equation is ridiculous as well, the idea that blood would be in a matzah. I'm assuming that a Jew who is careful in their kosher observance, so careful that they're going to only eat matzah on the Passover Seder, is also careful about not eating among the most forbidden foods in the Torah. Blood. Blood is a completely forbidden substance. As a matter of fact, when Jews want to eat even meat that's kosherly slaughtered, they have to salt the meat in order to extract as much blood as possible before it is permitted to consume the meat. Jews are forbidden to consume blood. It is a very serious offense. So the blood libel is, as we say, a libel, a complete slander, a complete falsehood, but it gives us a window into the psychology of the anti-Semite who accuses Jews of this hatred when it is really they themselves, as Sigmund Freud would explain, who have the hatred and they seek any justification whatsoever, and if they can't find a real one, they will make it up. And of course, they won't be able to find a real one because it doesn't exist. And so too you have this absurd situation today where Israel is accused of committing genocide in Gaza. Now, let's take a look at that just for a moment. There are two sides in this conflict, and one side does indeed call for genocide of the other, the eradication of the other from the face of the earth. And I can tell you that it is not Israel. You will not find mainstream Israelis, you will not even find extreme Israelis calling for the eradication of Muslims. At worst, you may find some fringe members of the right-wing parties who say that the Muslims of Gaza should be encouraged to willingly relocate to greener pastures. And even that is not accepted by the mainstream. You will never find Jews calling for genocide. You will find Jews, however, calling for peace every day of the week, every hour of the day. But what about the other side? Well, the anti-Semite can't justify themselves based on those facts, so they need to create other facts. First of all, they will claim that October 7th never happened. Well, it's interesting because the Hamas who perpetrated it, they say it happened and they're very proud of the fact that it happened and that they want it to happen again and again if they could make that happen. And polls show that a majority of the Arabs in the Gaza Strip agree with that sentiment. And when the Arabs, the Hamas, and those who agree with them claim that this indeed happened, they say this is a good thing because they have an aspiration to destroy the Jews from the face of the earth. Starting with from the river to the sea, which is the Jordan to the Mediterranean, which means the state of Israel, and murdering all of the people who live therein, but taking it even beyond that level. They want to murder Jews wherever they are. So indeed, there is one party of this conflict that is calling for genocide, and it ain't the Jews. It's the Hamas and those extremists on their side who support them. So let's understand the truth. Jews look at the non-Jewish world as created by the Lord, as possessing a divine soul, and requiring the Jews to do their best to light up that world, to be kind, to be helpful. And it is a serious, serious infraction for a Jew to harm a non-Jew. On many levels, in some ways it is even stricter than harming a fellow Jew. So that is the way that the Jews view the non-Jewish world, that we are all creatures of God, and it is our job to light up the world and to bring as much peace and as much good as is humanly possible.